There are moments in life when reality feels fragile, moments when something happens that shouldn't be possible, something so impossible that your mind immediately begins searching for explanations. A glitch, a misunderstanding, a coincidence, anything, because accepting the truth would be far worse. This story begins with a man named Ryan, a completely ordinary man. 29 years old, worked a boring office job, lived alone, kept to himself. Nothing remarkable had ever happened to him until the night he received a photograph from the future. At exactly 11:42 p.m., his phone vibrated. A new message, unknown sender, no text, just an image. Ryan opened it. The photograph showed his street, dark, empty, silent. The image seemed normal until he noticed the timestamp, tomorrow. The photograph claimed it had been taken 24 hours in the future. Ryan laughed. Technology makes mistakes. Phones malfunction. Someone was probably playing a prank. He deleted the image and forgot about it, or at least he tried to. The following night, police cars flooded his street. Flashing lights illuminated the darkness. Officers blocked the road. Neighbors gathered outside, confused and frightened. Ryan stood frozen by his window because everything looked exactly like the photograph. Every detail, every vehicle, every shadow, every light. The picture had shown this event before it happened, and Ryan had no idea how. For the first time, he felt uneasy. But things were only beginning. The next message arrived less than an hour later, another photograph, another timestamp from tomorrow. This image showed his office parking lot. The lot was empty, except for one thing, a figure standing alone, watching the building. The figure was too far away to identify, just a dark silhouette, featureless, motionless. Ryan stared at it for several minutes. Something about it felt wrong, not dangerous, not threatening, wrong, as if it didn't belong. The next evening, Ryan drove to work. He parked his car, stepped outside, and immediately felt his stomach drop. The parking lot looked exactly like the photo, every detail, every shadow, even the position of abandoned shopping carts near the curb. Then he saw it, the figure standing exactly where it appeared in the image, watching him. Ryan's heart began hammering. The figure didn't move, didn't react, didn't blink. It simply stood there. Ryan took one step forward, then another. The figure remained still. Then a car passed between them, only for a second. But when Ryan looked again, the figure was gone, vanished. No footsteps, no movement, nothing, as though it had never existed. Ryan searched the entire parking lot, found nothing. But the fear stayed with him because coincidences don't repeat themselves, not like that. The third photograph arrived at 3:13 a.m. Ryan was awake this time, waiting. The notification appeared. His hands shook as he opened it. The image loaded slowly, and when it finally appeared, Ryan nearly dropped his phone. The photograph showed his bedroom, his exact bedroom, taken from the corner near the ceiling. The timestamp again displayed tomorrow's date. But that wasn't the frightening part. The frightening part was the subject, Ryan, sleeping peacefully in bed, completely unaware, and standing beside him was the figure watching. The same silhouette, the same impossible presence. Ryan immediately turned on every light in the apartment. He searched every room, every closet, every corner. Nothing, no sign of anyone, yet the photograph existed. Someone had taken it, or something had. That night, Ryan didn't sleep. The next day, he installed cameras throughout the apartment, motion sensors, door alarms, window alarms, anything that might explain what was happening. For 2 days, nothing happened. No photographs, no strange figures, no unexplained activity. Ryan almost began convincing himself it was over. Then the fourth image arrived, and this one changed everything because the photograph wasn't showing the future, it was showing him at that exact moment, staring at his phone, looking terrified. Ryan froze. The image was impossible. The angle was wrong. The picture appeared to have been taken from directly behind him, yet nobody was there. Slowly, Ryan turned around. The room was empty, but something felt different. The apartment suddenly felt occupied, not physically, emotionally. Like walking into a room moments after an argument, an invisible tension lingering in the air. That night, he reviewed the security footage. Hour after hour, nothing unusual until 3:13 a.m. The camera feed flickered only briefly, 3 seconds, then returned. Ryan rewound the footage, watched it again, frame by frame, and felt his blood turn to ice. For exactly 3 seconds, someone had been standing in the hallway. The figure, perfectly still, looking directly into the camera. Then it vanished. No movement, no transition, simply there, then gone. Ryan contacted the police. They reviewed the footage, found no evidence of tampering, no intruders, no explanation. One officer suggested stress, another suggested hallucinations. Neither explanation accounted for the photographs. Eventually, the investigation went nowhere. Ryan was alone, and whatever was happening continued. The photographs arrived daily now, always from tomorrow, always showing events before they happened. At first, the images were harmless, a broken traffic light, a power outage, a fallen tree. Then they became personal, disturbingly personal. One photograph showed Ryan cutting his hand while cooking. The next day, it happened exactly as shown. Another image showed him tripping down a staircase. The following afternoon, it happened. Every photograph became reality, without exception. It was as if the future had become predictable, recorded, fixed. Ryan started living in fear of every notification because each image represented something that hadn't happened yet but always would. Then came the photograph that truly terrified him. A cemetery, fresh rain, grey skies, mourners dressed in black, a funeral, the timestamp displayed tomorrow. Ryan looked closer and nearly stopped breathing. The funeral wasn't the problem, the headstone was, because engraved into the stone was his name. Ryan spent the next 24 hours in absolute panic. He stayed inside, locked every door, ignored every phone call, refused to leave. If the photograph showed his death, then perhaps avoiding the outside world would save him. Midnight arrived, then 1 o'clock, then 2. Nothing happened. Maybe he had changed the future. Maybe the photograph was finally wrong. At exactly 3:13 a.m., another message arrived. Ryan opened it immediately. The image showed his apartment, his living room, his couch, his television, taken from inside the apartment, and standing in the center of the room was Ryan, holding his phone, looking directly at the camera. The timestamp read 1 minute in the future. Ryan's breathing became shallow. 1 minute, 60 seconds. He looked around. Nothing. 30 seconds. The room remained silent. 20 seconds. Still nothing. 10 seconds. Ryan's hands trembled. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. His phone vibrated. A camera shutter sound echoed from somewhere behind him. Click. Ryan slowly turned around. Nobody. Nothing. Just darkness. Then another notification appeared. A new photograph. Ryan opened it and screamed. The image showed him, taken only seconds earlier, exactly as predicted. But now the figure stood behind him, closer than ever before. Its face was finally visible. And the face wasn't unfamiliar. It wasn't a stranger. It wasn't a monster. It wasn't some unknown creature. The figure had Ryan's face, every feature, every detail, every scar, an exact copy. Only one thing was different, its smile. The smile stretched impossibly wide, far wider than any human smile should. Ryan dropped the phone, backed away, his entire body shaking. The copy stared from the image, watching, waiting, smiling. Then the final message arrived, no photograph, no timestamp. Just a single sentence, a sentence that appeared letter by letter on the screen as if someone were typing it in real time. Ryan watched in horror. The message read, "Thank you for showing me your future." A second line appeared. Now it's mine. The apartment lights went out, every room plunged into darkness. Ryan stood, frozen, unable to move, unable to breathe. Then he heard footsteps, slow, deliberate, coming from somewhere inside the apartment. One step, then another, getting closer. Ryan never called for help, never left the apartment, never spoke to anyone again. The next morning, neighbors reported hearing a scream. Police arrived. The front door was locked from the inside. Every window was secured. No signs of forced entry, no signs of struggle, no sign of Ryan. He had simply vanished. The only thing officers recovered was his phone, lying in the middle of the living room. The device contained hundreds of photographs, thousands according to some reports, images dated days, weeks, months, even years into the future. Most have never been released publicly. But one photograph became the subject of rumors because, according to the officers who saw it, the final image showed someone sitting exactly where you are right now. Reading this story, looking at a screen, completely unaware that something was standing behind them, watching, smiling, waiting. And according to the timestamp, that photograph was taken tomorrow.